Hi, my name is Kenny Kim and I'm a senior at Korea International School, which is located in Korea. That was a joke. Both my parents are Korean, so I am of Korean descent. However, I was born and raised in New York, so I am a Korean American. What does poetry mean to me? I think poetry is a way for people to express themselves. It's definitely something that's personal. It shouldn't be something that someone forced into you. It's definitely whatever poetry is. I think that true definition varies from person to person, since there's so many forms of poetry, there's so many different kinds of poetry, different ways to write poetry, form, media, it's all different. I think poetry is just an art form used to express ourselves. My favorite poem is called Today is Very Boring by Jack Prelutsky. I first actually saw this poem being performed by Jack Prelutsky himself on the hit PBS TV show Arthur. And since it was such a great show for me as a kid, it's just always stuck with me and I've always enjoyed it ever since. This poem actually holds special meaning to me just because not only was it a really funny poem at the time, it was more than that. It actually taught me about irony, it actually taught me about sarcasm, and it made my writing definitely change into what it is today, which is very cynical, very comical, and when it has to be. So I think that that's why this poem is very special. And actually you're going to hear me and see me perform this poem for you in about a couple seconds. But before that, I must warn you that I must need to change my appearance in order to suit what is about to happen. Thank you.
Today is very boring. It's a very boring day. There's nothing much to look at. There's nothing much to say. There's a peacock on my sneakers. There's a penguin on my head. There's a dormouse on my doorstep. I'm going back to bed. Today is very boring. It's boring through and through. There's absolutely nothing that I think I want to do. I see giants riding rhinos and an ogre with a sword. There's a dragon blowing smoke rings. I'm positively bored. Today is very boring. I can hardly help but yawn. There's a flying saucer landing in the middle of my lawn. A volcano just erupted less than a half a mile away, and I think I felt an earthquake. It's a very boring day.
My chain heavy, yeah, my chain heavy, my chain heavy, my chain too heavy. My chain heavy, yeah, my chain heavy, my chain heavy, my chain too